This is a film study examination of Isaac Tesla's first career touchdown, as well as his overall performance in the Detroit Lions game against the Atlanta Falcons, week one in the preseason down in Atlanta. Tesla scored his first career touchdown on a fade or a wheel out of the slot on a pass from Kyle Allen. I want to highlight some of his play from Friday night. The All 22 film actually took a lot longer to get out, and so I wanted to jump on this one as soon as possible to get it out for you guys. If you enjoy it, please let me know in the comment section. Tomorrow, Sunday, at some point, moving into Monday, I'll have some film up of Tyleik Williams, Tate Radledge, and some of the things that Kelvin Shepard's defense was doing on the first 5 or 6 possessions, really playing at a high level, if you ask me. Tesla's first touchdown pass came on a slot wheel slash fade, if you will, from Kyle Allen. I do expect to see some complementary routes built off of that. And that was the 11-yard touchdown on a 3rd and 2, but also his 4th and 3 win against Natron Brooks earlier to retain possession while Hendon Hooker was still in the game. He showed off his athletic ability last night, making plays at key moments. Last week he was 2 for 2 in terms of catches to targets. I would like to see him get a little bit more involved. Basically, stretch his usage into 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 targets. He's also playing on special teams. First as a gunner on a punt team, and I'll actually show you guys one of his wins here. It's a clear win. It's a first-round knockout in terms of that rep. And then additional to that, on kick return, he did commit 1 penalty there. During this video, I'm also going to give you guys some insight on a design feature, the levels of design that are there for a particular play concept that John Morton called on a 3rd and 2 while Hendon Hooker was in the game. I think it'll just display the intricate details that an offensive coordinator and offensive staff goes to maximize opportunities to win, to convert 3rd downs, especially with a mobile quarterback in the game. We'll get the film started here. Just one look at his first career touchdown, the slot fade wheel, if you will. There's the design element of it. Essentially, you got a pick or a rub from the outside receiver, which I believe is Jackson Meeks. He does a nice job getting his hands in the air, trying to make it long. I think Meeks did a nice job on that play. We'll break that one down a little bit further later on in the video. Just wanted to show it as a preview. It's obviously the main portion of this film study look. Hendon Hooker still in the game here. I believe this is 4th possession. I could be wrong. It's a 4th and 3, a shake slant. Right near the end of the first quarter, or the beginning of the second, excuse me. He's going against Natron Brooks. It's a double slant, if you will, up to the top side of the screen. I believe you have a little bit of a return route, China, whip route, whatever people want to call it, as a late option for Hendon Hooker on the play. You can see Tesla presses to the outside against Brooks and then brings his route back to the inside. A little bit of a juggle there, maybe catching it not 2 times, but one and a half. I'll give the end zone angle of it so you can see it. You kind of, unfortunately, the end zone angle is a little fuzzy the way that it occurs. It's a man coverage situation. Really nice design. You've got one option for Tesla here, a second slant there, and then after the pick rub up here, a China in or whip route as a positive end or outside linebacker, whose path is spot shadowed in yellow. It's an ET stunt, basically, where the D end. This, unfortunately, is the fumble for Hooker, and I feel like I've just got to show you this one to illustrate kind of what happened. That was Tesla up there, by the way, spot shadowed as the outside receiver. No chance, really, to get him the football here. Hooker just doesn't see Ebiketie, who wins immediately against Mason Miller. This is, about as easy as it gets in terms of dealing with a right to do this to Miller, but I thought he was giving pretty much everyone trouble on this offensive line. Manu played well, by the way. I want to talk about this play. It's a 3rd down where Hooker scrambles for 23 yards. First, let's run it through one time. Tesla was spot shadowed up at the top side of the screen. His route is the one that's delineated in orange. A deeper in-cut dig, if you will. It's a 4-man rush. 1 or possibly even 2 of the Falcons' rushers fall down or get themselves out of control. Hooker squirts out of there to the right-hand side. A little bit longer than a 3rd and 1. But I want to talk about the way that this is designed. So we'll go back to where the routes are. So first, let's start at the bottom side. You've got the tight end. I believe it's Ziltra, but I may be wrong there. He's going to chip the defensive end and then run a low drag across the field. That's the yellow line. Now that's going to be matched by this corner here. So what occurs here is you've got this opening up, clear out concept essentially of everything down here at the bottom side of the screen. Running out of room, but I'm just letting you guys see the portion of the field that I'm talking about. It's the bottom of our screen from the hash to the sideline, or from the top of the numbers to the sideline. First way that they, Morton, and the offense are trying to take advantage of it is this route here. I call it a climb concept. So where a receiver or a tight end from the other side of the field is climbing over the top into that space that's been vacated by the number one receiver on the opposite side of the field. Normally it's to the boundary. Oftentimes it'll be from a compressed or condensed split. In this case, it's the slot or number two receiver. He doesn't really get there. But still, I think you've got another option built into this, which is what I'm trying to convince you of. The other option for Hooker is, now that this tight end has run across the field occupying this corner, additional to that, the route that I pointed out to you before, what I would call a climb concept emanating from the opposite side of the field, is going to occupy this safety. And what does that do? Opens things up for Hooker to scramble out of there and get a 23-yard gain. You'd like to maybe see him get out of bounds and not take such a big hit. I think for a moment there I misspoke about which one of these guys was running the climb concept. It actually was the innermost receiver, the number 3 receiver, which fits with what I said in trying to explain it, that it was either a condensed or a compressed split. In this case, it's not condensed. He's just a number 3 receiver in 11 personnel grouping. You can see the entirety of the field that has been opened up by this drag, and then this safety being occupied with that climb concept. Other people have different names for it. Some would just call it a post. My point is there's many layers to the design here, and this is not pure chance that Hooker is able to have so much space to scramble onto once he decides that he's not going to throw the football or attempt to throw the football to get the conversion. Hopefully I explained that in a way that makes sense. Tesla is a spot shadow down here at the bottom side of the screen. This is his rep that I'll choose to highlight as a punt team gunner. Absolute knockout win. First round, first punch KO. Really just absolutely running by the guy. I don't know how much he'll be used in that way during the regular season. I know that right now the level of athlete that he's going against, especially when single covered here, it's a complete mismatch, and Tesla seems to be winning those consistently. He didn't need to deliver a hit there because the punt returner called for a fair catch. Moving backwards or maybe forwards in time, we're returned back to the touchdown where Kyle Allen is in at quarterback. A late second quarter, unfortunately, Atlanta went right down the field on their ensuing possession, right in a 2-minute drill, score and take a 10-7 lead. But it's first of all, it's a pick or shield concept with the outside receiver, Meeks, right around in this area, and it turns into what we would call a fade. I wonder if next week you're going to get the same type of release, same type of setup, only if the DB goes over the top, then Tesla may bring his route and turn it into what's called a fade out, where the quarterback, whether it's Kyle Allen, Hendon Hooker, or even Jared Goff, throws it more towards the sideline on a flatter trajectory, trying to get it there as quick as possible. The great timing here is what I want to make note of, and I'm sure other people have mentioned. He's got really nice hands, goes up to catch the ball away from his body as soon as possible, because it's like an alley-oop. Really, he's got a huge height and leaping ability advantage. I don't consider it just jumping in the case of Tesla. It's a leap because he's got such great spring. Additional to that, one thing to mention is the quarterback is getting rid of the football well before Tesla is even open. This is all designed. You do have a little bit of a pseudo mesh look here as a possible later option between the running back and the outside receiver. I really like some of the design of this stuff from Morton. This is somewhat similar to the play that I tried to explain on the previous iteration where Hooker scrambled. You've got a receiver from the twin side running a drag, and then look at all the space that Craig Reynolds has to run onto as a later option. If Kyle Allen fit in this, and I spoke about this last week a little bit. If you checked out my film study, look at him. I was saying I think that it's possible more teams are going to do a bull rush because this seems to be what Manu is being taught. Either it's what he's being taught or what he's most comfortable in. His engagement far enough away from the quarterback, that's okay. depending on the concept, depending on how quick quarterback is supposed to get rid of the ball. The one thing I would say is if Allen, who of course started over here with his read, if he then came back to the drag that I showed you emanating from right to left on our screen in a moment, and then finally tried to work back to Reynolds, it's possible that Ebiketie would have deposited Manu in his lap and disrupted that whole progression. I like the design. Also, guys like Tessa, athletic enough, fast enough with some spring in his leap to be able to go and get balls like that. A slot fade, if you will, but interested to see if he lines up at X receiver and they can get him free on anything like that in the future. It's a very unique situation, in my opinion, right now. Getting to watch three teams' preseason games, Tesla is one of the more exciting players that's out there on any of those rosters. From a Ravens standpoint, they got Keaton Mitchell back, who's a third-year running back at this point, suffered a gruesome injury 2023, made his return last season late and just didn't look the same. He has all of his explosiveness back, looks tremendous. So he's incredibly exciting. The Seahawks had a great draft from the standpoint of drafting almost a dozen talented football players, including the starting level offensive lineman in Gray Zabel. But for my money, across the three teams that I'm seeing, the most exciting guy, perhaps Mike Green for the Ravens, the edge defender who had 17 sacks to lead NCAA college football last year, would be level with him. Is Tesla ready to contribute outside from a outside receiver deployment? We've got a small sample size right now, but he's making plays. High efficiency. I think he's got 4 catches on 5 targets. Really nice design on this play, using his height, length, frame, and athletic ability to rely on and give Kyle Allen an immediate option to throw the football and create, basically a jump ball situations. It got the Lions on the board right late in the second quarter of a game that was really tough to watch offensively for much of the game. I'm interested to see either more of these fades thrown to him down in the red zone, and if we get a similar setup next week, whether he turns it into a fade out or something like that, where he reads the DB's reaction to the potential pick or rub, and depending on that cornerback's release that he's matched up with, Tesla may adjust his route. This is so far a brilliant start. 2 nice games by Tesla put together back to back. He did have a special teams penalty, like I said, in this one. It was a block, an illegal block above the waist on a kick return. So my only guess is that it was like in the back or something like that. I did see it one time. It was AL-22, somewhat zoomed out. Otherwise, a near perfect start for Tesla. He's only 23 years old. He's displayed all of the physical attributes that caused Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and everyone to be so excited that they were able to go get him. I think trading away 2/3 to actually go acquire him early in the third round. The consistency with which he's catching the football, his acceleration, you saw it on the punt team. It gives Lions fans a lot to talk about. And, what so far through 2 games has been an otherwise subpar offensive performance against the Chargers and then the Falcons. If you guys have anything you think that I missed here that you would like to perhaps add to the evaluation of Tesla through 2 games, feel free to put something up in the comment section to let me know about it. I have a feeling that we'll be doing basically another one of these the next 2 weeks. It seems to me as if right now Tesla's got some things figured out. The offensive staff, and Morton, they know how to use him in certain situations. I like that they went to him on the 4th and 3, and I like that they went to him on a 3rd and 2. Clearly intentional that he was the main priority, the main read there, the first read in the progression for the quarterback. In the case of Hooker on the 4th and 3, and then here the 3rd and 2 for Kyle Allen. In any case, if you enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comment section as well. If you're not aware, likes and comments drive the engagement and also push the video out to larger audiences and help generate revenue for content creators like me. I love what I'm doing, and I want to try to get as many of these videos out as possible for Lions fans each and every day. So if you think other Lions fans would enjoy this one, and or you'd like to see my work shared across the larger spectrum online, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.